Good evening, my beautiful brothers and sisters in Yeshua. Today, or tonight rather, is Thursday the 13th of June 2024. It is 8:33 p.m. here in Australia. I hope you're doing very well and I hope you've been blessed. Tonight is going to be a very exciting video, probably a very long one. I'm going to start weaning myself off YouTube because I think we've all got to get down and do the work now. It's very, very, very exciting times. What's happening everywhere around the world, the things that I've been studying, looking into, I'm very, very, very encouraged by it, and looks like something is finally actually happening. So tonight's video is probably going to be very long. Basically, I've got a document here, all these bullet points here that I want to talk about each and every one of them. So that's 5 pages worth there. And then I've got some TikToks, lots of them, that I want to share with you. There's just so much. The information right now, the disclosure, everything is just wild. But it's so exciting. It's so fun. What a time to be alive. We are the most blessed generation to ever live. So basically, this is what my video is going to be about tonight, is a lot of things. And so let's jump straight into it. So before I get into my video, actually, I want to start this video by letting you know, and please understand this or overstand this, understand this, however you want to say it, that this is my journey, brothers and sisters. Okay, this is my journey. This is my research. This is my a lot of my theories, my understanding of how I perceive the things that I watch and see. So take it with a grain of salt. You don't have to agree with what I'm saying, but rather if things that I'm talking about resonates with you, that's fantastic. I am at a 180 from where I used to be, and I am not upset about that at all. I'm in the constant search, still number one for the kingdom of heaven, and it's becoming more and more and more evident, as exactly as Jesus said, that the kingdom of heaven cannot be observed, it is within you. Now, I think we've had our blinders on for all of history, right? And I think that the time that we're living in now is incredibly special, because I think we're the chosen generation, that all these events are going to come to a cataclysmic end, with fireworks and all that good stuff. It's nothing to be scared about. And so this is one thing I do want to touch on too, is the fear programming. And I really want this video to be a help and an education to all of those people who are questioning, what do I do now? You know, who are we? What do we do? What's my next steps? That's exactly what I want to talk about in tonight's video, because I feel that, like myself, but I continue to study even when I'm like, oh my goodness, you know, what is the truth? Everything seems like a lie. It all comes full circle back, and I feel at peace with what I understand, understand, overstand. And I want to share that with you because I love you, and I'm excited, and I feel like a kid in a candy store on Christmas Day with all this information that I have for you guys. And yes, so I just thought I'd let you know that first. You don't have to agree with what I'm saying. You know, some of you will love Trump, some of you will hate him. I've gone through both camps. But I'm looking at all of this in such a different context now, and I want to walk you through it. I want to walk you through the way I see things, and if it resonates with you, that's fantastic. If it doesn't, that's awesome too. You know, I still love you. We're still all brothers and sisters, and we're still, regardless, we're still living in the most incredible time ever to exist. So, what are we going to look at first? Okay, why not? Let's have a look at the Q clock. Okay, I know a lot of people are like, that, you know, you used to say that was a psyops. It could very well still be, but as I was talking about in my last video, see, the scripture that really stands out for me, and this is why I suppose I was so hardcore on Jesus's words only. Okay, it was Jesus himself that got up the disciples when they were like, oh, there's this fella over here, he's casting and healing people in your name, and he's not part of us, and they got really angry and jealous. That's pretty much what happened. They got jealous. And Jesus was like, if he's doing good things in my name, then what, that's nothing bad. And then he goes on to say, a good tree cannot produce bad fruit, and a bad tree cannot produce good fruit. So that is my foundation, okay? And it makes sense now with everything that's going on around the world, that everything is good or bad, good versus evil, dark versus light. There's no grey in between. And that's really what I'm starting to understand right now, is there's no grey in between. This is exactly what Jesus talks about. We're not fighting against flesh and blood, but we're fighting against the principalities and the corrupt governments. Okay, in the Geneva Bible, it was originally written in that verse that we're fighting against the princes and principalities of the air and corrupt worldly governments. Okay, the King James took that out. Go figure. But the point I'm trying to make here, brothers and sisters, is that this is a spiritual war. This is a spiritual war, and we know already the victory's already been won. This just has to play out. And this is why you shall not live in fear, because the victory has already been won. Now, I want to touch on this before I get into these videos and stuff. Basically, those of you who are still watching for the rapture, I need to plead to you, brothers and sisters, please, I plead to you with the bottom of my heart. Take it from someone who absolutely was consumed by rapture watching. I know it's almost addictive, okay, to look around the world and see, the floods, the earthquakes, the war, everything that's going on, and going, oh, this means that Jesus is coming back soon. Brothers and sisters, please hear me now. In the scriptures, it says, like I said at the beginning of this video, the kingdom of heaven is not something you can observe. It is found within you. Okay, it is found within you. Now, the problem with the rapture, okay, and looking for the millennial reign, we've already gone over this before in many of my other videos. The millennial reign is a Judaic Freemason doctrine that was added for futurism, to always continuously think we're looking into the future, waiting for something, waiting for a savior to come and get us, and all this kind of stuff. When Jesus was very clear, he said, you will do greater things than me. Okay, and Jesus himself said, who are you calling good? There's none good except for Father, okay, except for the source, except for our Father in heaven. That is the only one that we should be worshipping and serving and doing his will. Okay, Jesus came to be the image of that invisible God, and to show us the way, the truth, and how to get back home. But the thing with the rapture, getting back to that, okay, let me put it this way. The evil ones, okay, the evil entities, they're not human beings like you and me. They literally, brothers and sisters, feed, they get their energy from our negative energy and our fear. Okay, this is why the whole, adrena, you know that what I'm talking about. This is why that is like Wagyu beef for them, okay? The best, the prim de prim, whatever the word is. This is why they do horrible things to children, is because when they can extract that fear, that intense fear, especially of the innocent, they feed off that, okay? And it's a horrible reality, but it is the reality. And so what's happening with the rapture watching people is, as I've said in many of my videos, I truly, honestly believe through my thorough, diligent research that the book of Revelation is a Freemasonic Judaic playbook. They put that in there, brothers and sisters, to create the fear and the constant worry about what's coming in the future. You know, the tribulation's coming, the head's being cut off, the mark of the beast is coming, etc., etc. Okay, so what's happening here is the majority of the Christian world, in a nutshell, is looking for World War III. Okay, they're actually looking for World War III because, you know, every second Rapture video that you see is like, oh, World War III is imminent. There's so much focus on the negative, okay? And the elites, the wicked entities, they are laughing in our face because we are feeding them. This is why you need to get away from the rapture watching. What is happening right now is the dissolving of evil. Okay, the dissolving of evil. And, you know, the stuff that I'm going to talk about in my videos sounds so different and opposite from what Christianity teaches, what the churches, what the modern day Pharisees and Sadducees teach. It is so opposite, but there is so much scriptural backing to it. And I know there's going to be people in the comments saying, oh, you're so deluded, you're so far from the truth, you're leading people to hell. That's fine, okay? That is fine. That is your prerogative. As I said, you know, do with it what you will. This is my journey, my theories, my thoughts, my understandings. Okay, what's happening right now? I'm just going to be frank with you because there's no more time to be fluffing around now, okay? What's happening now, brothers and sisters, is literally the Great Awakening. Okay, the Great Awakening. Now, let's get this New Age phrase out of our minds, okay? Because I've had a few people write to me and say, oh, get away from the New Age thing, you know, that's a dangerous road, I've been there, etc., etc. That's fine. But what you don't understand, what the New Age, like the things that the New Age is talking about, is love and light. We are told in the scriptures, brothers and sisters, to meditate on those things: joy, hope, love, kindness, charity, patience, all the good things. And this is essentially what the New Age encompasses. Okay, and let's just don't worry about titles. Please don't worry about titles. We don't have time for this anymore, to have stupid little arguments about titles and all this kind of stuff. So what is happening right now is there is, and like I said before, because the enemy, the entities, they feed off negative energy. What is happening right now, and this started in 2020, because as I showed you in my last video, the whole Mayan prophecy thing, 2012, well, the Ethiopian calendar, okay, in 400 AD, they had their calendar and they've had it ever since, and then we didn't get the Gregorian until 1582. Basically, the Ethiopians are 8 years behind. So, effectively, our 2012 was 2020. Okay, we all know what happened in 2020. And one of my favourite sayings, one of my favourite verses is, wherever sin is, grace abounds more so. So whatever the enemies, the entities tried to do in 2020, the goodness was more so, okay? And so more people woke up because they were locked down and trapped in their homes and had nothing better to do than to search, research, open their Bibles. And surprise, surprise, so many people are starting to wake up. And now we are going hardcore, okay? We're going hardcore. Something's just been put on my mind now. I just want to talk about it. The age of Aquarius. Now, I know people are going to be like, oh my goodness, girl, how far have you fallen? Listen, today I'm an Aquarian, okay? I love the water. I've talked about all this with you before. The age of Aquarius, okay? Let's just go back a bit. Look at it this way. When Moses went up to Mount Sinai, okay, got the 10 Commandments and stuff, and then he came down, and all those people they'd put all their gold together and made the bull. The reason they did that, brothers and sisters, is is not as bad as you think. They were in the astrological sign of Taurus, the bull. Okay, so they were doing what was natural to them. I'm not making excuses for them, but this is the reality. This is why when Jesus came, it became the age of Pisces, the fish. This is why we have a fish that, represents Christianity. We have now left the age of Pisces and we're going into the age of Aquarius. Whether you like it or not, whether you think this is all fancy dancy la-di-la, it doesn't matter. Like I said, if this doesn't resonate with you, turn it off, go watch something else. But we're entering into the age of Aquarius, okay? And again, like I said, with Scripture, let's have a look at this, because this just got put on my heart as I was telling you about something else. But beautiful verse there. Anyway, I'm not going to get sidetracked. Okay. Picture. Okay, I want to show you something in the New Testament. Okay, we're going to make this bigger. Okay, let's go the full chapter. Now, just bear with me because it's very important. Okay, so it says, now the disciples are asking Jesus this, okay? They're like, the disciples said to him, they said to Jesus, "Where will we go and prepare the Passover for you, Jesus?" And he sent forth 2 of his disciples and said to them, "Go into the city, there you shall meet a man bearing a pitcher of water. Follow him. And wherever he shall go in, say ye to the good man of the house, the master said, where is the guest chamber where I shall eat the Passover with my disciples? And he will show you a large upper room furnished and prepared. There make ready for us." Okay, so that is absolutely incredible, brothers and sisters. So Jesus is literally saying, go into the city, and when you see a man bearing a pitcher of water. Now, we know what the sign, here we go. Let's go to Stellarium. Okay, we'll go to Aquarius. It's right there, but I want to focus on it. Say Aquarius, it's a man holding a pitcher of water. We have to come out of the old way of thinking, brothers and sisters. What is happening right now is absolutely incredible, okay? The age of Aquarius. And like I said, everything can be backed up by Scripture. We have no idea. It was almost as if we had blinders on when we read, and it was for our own protection because the time wasn't right, okay? We had the priests and the pastors up at the pulpit telling us and feeding us all this stuff, and it was good because it kept us at a level of morale and all that kind of stuff. But now is the time for doing the work. Okay, now is the great awakening. Now our eyes become unsealed and we can see, we can hear, we can understand. This is so important. Okay, now, what was I going to talk about? Okay, well, the great awakening. Okay, the age of Aquarius. What is happening with all of this? I'll give you a perfect example. The Rapture watching community will always looking at the banks crashing, right? The money crashing, the stock markets crashing. Think about this, brothers and sisters. What do they call money? Currency. Okay, currency. What is in the water? Current. Okay, the current. What do we have? The maritime laws. A lot of, I haven't done too much research, but I know enough to know that a lot of our laws are maritime laws. And, the birth canal, the ships, docks on the... Anyway, what happens in the water with the ships and the docking and everything relates a lot to when a woman gives birth and the baby comes out of the waters and everything like this. This is what it means by the banks and the money system crashing, brothers and sisters. It's not a scary thing. It's not. See, the entities and the elites knew this, and I believe very much with the evidence of Nikola Tesla. I've got so much to share with you. My head is exploding. Nikola Tesla, my dear sister just sent me something, and I've just been watching it. The Secrets of Nikola Tesla, Free Energy and Time Travel. This video, I'll try to remember to link it. Actually, I can't link because I'm restricted from linking at the moment. But the real Ismail Perez, okay? Go and have a look at it. He's reading the Nikola Tesla's documents where Nikola Tesla wanted to create a free humanity with free power, he wanted to create a utopia for humanity, okay? And this is why the evil ones wanted to get rid of him, okay? Great thing, video, but see, I'm getting already sidetracked on what I'm trying to talk about. Oh, yes. Okay, so I totally believe time travel exists. Okay, I totally believe this. There's so much we don't understand, and we don't know because, you know, they've kept us in this state of stupor. But anyway, long story short, John Trump, which is Donald Trump's uncle, okay, worked on projects with Nikola Tesla, and they created the X-ray machine, and anyway, they created time travel. Okay, time travel. And what I think has happened is if they could create time travel, then so could the bad people, right? So could the bad entities. And they foresaw the end of this all, the end of the cabal, the end of the evil, the end of the wickedness. And so this is where I reckon the book of Revelation came in, because they were like, we need a solution to fix this problem. So we're going to create the storyline, but put our touch on it, to make people assume this book is playing out rather than what's really going on. Okay, so what I would truly believe is happening is that the way when they tell us, okay, the markets are crashing, they are trying to draw your attention to the book of Revelation so everyone lives in fear, right? Because if the markets crash and the digital dollar comes in, then that makes more sense that, the book of Revelation is true. Here comes the mark of the beast, and we won't be able to buy and sell, etc., etc. But what's really happening is the destruction of the low vibrational things like money, okay, because the love of money is the root of all evil. And Jesus even said you cannot love God and money and man, okay? You'll either love one and hate the other. It's just as simple as that. And it's so true. But this is what's really going on, and why we give so much credit to the enemy and his evil plans, and his lies and deception. I don't know. I don't understand this. But this is what I'm here for today, is to bring people out of that constant giving of your fear and negative energy to these evil entities. Okay, we've got to stop. Now is the time to work on ourselves. And pardon me. And like I said, after this video tonight, I don't know how many more videos I'm going to do, if any, because I'm preaching to myself as well, right? It's time to do the work. It's time to unlearn all the negative enforcements that we place on ourselves and tell ourselves, because these things are real. These things that I'm seeing, I'm learning, and what's happening around the world, it's incredible, and it's so exciting. It's incredibly exciting. It's much more exciting than the narrative that the church puts on us. I'll tell you that much. So what is really happening is people are starting to come out of their slumber, come out of the deception, come out of the trap, and the elites. And okay, so like I said, we'll just call them the elites, okay? That encompasses wicked people, entities, everybody that's working for them, okay? Like I said, they feed because they chose to separate themselves from the light, from source, from Father, okay? So that's why... Oh, and I want to mention something too, talking about that. Actually, I'm going to write it down and talk about it later, otherwise I'll lose my train of thought here. Okay. Like I said, the what do you call them? The elites, okay? They feed off energy. They need negativity. They need us to live in fear. And because many people are stepping out of fear and stepping into love and light and being kind, having great respect for everything, even down to the blades of grass, they are dwindling away. They are dwindling away, brothers and sisters. I always bring you back to that clip of the episode of The Simpsons where the big mascots in Springfield, like the big donut, you know, the little boy with the donut who was like a big mascot for the donut shop, all those big mascots came to life and started terrorizing the town, right? And so Lisa talks to this man, and they create this song, and just don't look. And basically, all these mascots are terrorizing the town, and all the townspeople are gathered into the town square, and they're like, yelling at the mayor to do something. And Lisa comes and she's like, I've got the solution. And she starts playing this song, and everyone starts turning away from the mascots and looking at Lisa, and it's just don't look. And one by one, these mascots just fall over and break. And this is exactly it is. It's so easy. It's such in a nutshell that we just got to stop paying attention to them. We've got to turn off the news. We've got to stop watching for the rapture, because that ain't happening, brothers and sisters. What is happening is we are calling heaven. Okay, the new earth, the new Jerusalem, whatever you want to call it, we are calling it down to this earth. Okay, this is literally what Jesus was trying to do, and this is why the Jews killed him. This is why Judas betrayed Jesus, because Jesus didn't bring an earthly kingdom. Okay, the Jews hated that because they were expecting a Messiah to come to take down the Romans and to set up an earthly kingdom where the Jews rule, and Judas was the same. Okay, he was like, oh my goodness, this fella's not producing what I thought he was going to produce. I'm going to get the money, and betray him, etc., etc. But this is what Jesus is trying to say. He said, even you will do greater things than me. Okay, you'll do greater things than me. This is in the scriptures, brothers and sisters. This is not me trying to be above Jesus or anything like that. It's literally in the scriptures. And the faster and quicker we realize what Jesus meant by as above, so below, and what you reap, you'll reap what you sow. It's so true. Okay, so basically what we have to do is there's the spiritual things, okay, and that is we've got to relearn or unlearn everything that we've been told. We have to catch ourselves when we start having negative thoughts. Now, here is a trick, brothers and sisters. When you find yourself going into a negative thought pattern that you've developed all your life, and it's just something of a habit now, you need to be okay with it. You need to let it come into your mind, accept it for what it is, and let it pass, because this is no longer you. Okay, and then when these moments come, you physically with your mouth, like Jesus always says, confess with your mouth, you physically throughout the day give gratitude and thanks continuously. This is what I'm doing all the time now. I'm forever, thank you, Father. Thank you, Father, for the protection of my children. Thank you for everything that I have. Thank you that I'm never in need of anything. Thank you for your protection that you give me and my children. Thank you for the abundance and blessings that you always give us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Never, oh, can I please, or, this begging stuff. We've got to stop with the begging. Live in gratitude and thanks, and I'm telling you, it's a whole new world. A whole new world, okay? And so what's happening is, this is the real reason why the dollar is crashing. This is the real reason why these events around the world are taking place, because the old world is falling and dissolving, brothers and sisters. I know it sounds fantasy-like, but it is the reality of what is going on here. The evil ones and the evil things and the evil thoughts are dissolving and perishing. Okay? And if we don't get on, like I heard this beautiful analogy, and it makes so much sense. There's 2 train tracks. I said this in my last video. 2 train tracks, 3D and 5D. Okay? And don't be concerned or put off by the titles. Okay? 3D just means where we're living now, the 3-dimensional dense earth. Okay? With all the stupid rules and regulations and the control system and all that kind of stuff. Okay, and then the 5D, which is a much higher, loving, light vibration. Okay, it's a beautiful place, and this is where this whole law of attraction thing comes in. It's everything is already there. Everything is waiting for you, and we are going to be able to create our perfect. This is why it says your mind cannot even comprehend what's in store for you. Your heart will just explode, basically, with just things that you can't even comprehend. You're going to be so joyful, so ecstatic, so euphoric. It's going to be amazing. Okay, so there's these 2 train tracks, 3D, 5D. Right now, they're alongside each other. Okay, and we can jump from 3D to 5D, from 5D to 3D, and everything like this. This is, I don't know how long this is going to last, but we need to start working on ourselves. And because when you start working on yourselves, and this goes along with not preaching, not preaching anymore to anybody. There's no point in doing that, because you have to be the light. When you're the light and you're shining brightly, automatically people will resonate towards you or not. Okay, that's not our job to save anybody. We've all got to do our own work, and we've been demonized to think, that's works-based salvation. Brothers and sisters, we've got to stop being so. Look at the Rapture watching community. I'm talking to myself here. I used to be so spiritually lazy. Okay, because all I did was watch for the rapture, and look at this gematria, and look at this that's happening over in Israel, and look at this, it's World War III is about to happen. So spiritually lazy. Jesus said himself, no signs will be given. None. Why? Because that relies on you. You need something. You need to see it. He said to Thomas, you see me and then believe, but blessed are those who don't see and still believe. Okay, we've got to stop wanting signs all the time. It's such a destructive thing for our heart, mind, and soul, and our spirit. Okay, Jesus said no signs are going to be given. Okay, Jesus within us, and let's call it what it is, Christ consciousness. Okay, because you remember, he came, brothers and sisters, to be a representation of everything that Father needs us to be. And this is why we walk like Jesus, and we, because Jesus came to show Father's will and how to get back home. So, where am I? So basically, what I'm trying to say is you need to concentrate on yourself, brothers and sisters. You need to start doing this work, okay? Spiritually, like I said, it doesn't come naturally to us because we've been indoctrinated and demonized and controlled for so long that it will take a little while, okay? You need to start being thankful for everything that's around you, for the roof over your head, for the food that you're given. You never go without, do you? Really? You never have been without. You've always been protected. But we tend to whinge and moan and complain a lot. And we've got to stop doing that. Okay? Now what's going to happen is more and more people are starting to wake up and start realizing that we don't have to go along with the entities. We don't have to play their game anymore. All they have is threats and fear and, sucking our energy, basically. And we can change that, like, immediately. And that's the wonderful thing about this. But we need to do this work now, because those train tracks eventually will start departing and start shifting on different roads, and they're going to veer off from each other, and then it's going to be impossible to for a 3D to jump over to a 5D. And this is truly what I think it means by being left outside. And this is why, it may say in the book of Revelation that the fear and doubters will not enter into the kingdom of heaven. So you take that, brothers and sisters. If you want to have scripture, if you want to go by that, then take that. Fear and doubting will not enter the kingdom of heaven. Okay? Fear and doubting will not enter the kingdom of heaven. So you've got to wipe that out. And the rapture watching thing is where the fear is coming from. I'm telling you. There's nothing joyful, really, about watching and waiting for the rapture. I know you may think, oh, what? That's ridiculous. But think about it. Think about it. It's a constant, oh, am I good enough? What if the trumpet blows and I'm still left sitting in my bed or standing there and I haven't been taken? It's a constant fear-based doctrine. And I've got something to show you about John Darby, who was the instigator and the father of this pre-tribulation rapture doctrine. Okay, very, very interesting. So, yes, again, in a nutshell, we need to come out of her, my people. I'm telling you, come out, start living your life, start just really being so happy, so grateful, so loving in every aspect. When even if bad things come your way, you accept it, you respect it, and you transmute it into something good. Okay? You transmute it into something good. You have so much power, brothers and sisters. We all have so much power, and this is what they didn't want us to know. They wanted to keep this a secret about how much power we have. But this is the real reason why the markets are crashing. This is the real reason why the earth is rocking and rolling and crumbling. It has to, brothers and sisters. Okay, it has to. Everything is, like I said, everything is like a simulation. Everything is like a simulation. So you've got nothing to fear. The only thing that's going to come is we're going to go back into the original matrix. Okay, the matrix just means reality. We're going back into the original one. Right now we're in the false one. Everything is upside down, inside out, the wrong way round. Everything they've told us is a lie, and this is where we're going. I know it may sound ridiculous, but you've got to remember what we are. We are a spirit. Okay, we come from the Father. We've come from the source. Okay, we got trapped down here. I want to show you some videos that I watched. I binge watched them. They were so good. It's to do with the Anunnaki and everything like that. It makes so much sense. You should watch these movies, because basically it goes right back to the Sumerian tablets and things like this. And this was written long before the Bible. And we're told that that all these ancient myths, as they call them, were taken from the Bible. That's not true. The Egyptian mythology, as you would call it, was written way longer, and the stories match. It's so amazing when you really have your eyes open. And yes, we were created in the image of the Elohim. Okay, it's literally there in ancient Hebrew. We were created by the Elohim. Okay, they put fleshly meat suits on us, okay, and we got trapped in this environment that we're in at the moment, but we are now breaking free from that environment, and it's so exciting. So, like I said, check this out, The Secrets of Nikola Tesla, Free Energy and Time Travel. He's reading, like I said, the documents of Tesla's plans that for us, for humanity, and the fact that they didn't kill him, he was still alive even up until the 1960s. Incredible information. And yeah, so there's that one. Then we've got the Q clock, okay? Incoming Russia nuclear scare event in 4 hours, okay? So what's that? At 1 a.m. here, or 2, because it's 45 minutes. Pardon me. 2 a.m. here, so in 5 hours basically, incoming Russia nuclear scare event. Now these Q posts and everything like this, yes, for years and years and years they've been saying something's going to come, and I was the first one to say, oh, it's a psyops, it's to constant carrot on the stick. And what's been happening in the last 3 or 4 days, I'm like, oh my goodness, something might finally be happening. There has been Russian ships off the coast of Florida for about 70 to 80 days now, and they can't get them away. They can't get them to leave. And then there was news that Putin basically gave, I don't know if it was weapons or information or whatever, to Cuba, and basically they were going to use Cuba as the people who were going to attack the United States or whatever it may be. But what I'm trying to say is there's actual movement now. There's movement, and now look at Florida. It's underwater, okay? Something's going down, something's happening. So let's go, when you click on this little Twitter bird, or X as it's now known, if you go to this website here, says here, the latest post was 8 hours ago. 7 countries in South Florida are now in a state of emergency and completely underwater as nightfall hits. Russian warships and nuclear power submarines sit 66 miles from the now sunken Florida coast. Okay, 9 hours ago, white hats in control. You are watching a movie. You're ready. You ready for what comes next? Okay, I swear this lady, Melania, is from another galaxy or something. I swear. I'm trying to find the information for it because I've seen once, years ago, where they were talking about where she was from, and they showed the money, a coin from where she was from, and it had aliens and ships on the coin. And it would make sense, okay? I truly believe that there are good guys here that have been working under the scenes. It makes so much sense when you really research it and not just look at it from the surface level. It makes sense that there's always been good all along, and they are working to help us. And, I was an avid flat earth, person. And I'm at the point now, brothers and sisters, where everything they've told us is very obvious. It's a distraction. I'm not saying that I don't believe in flat earth anymore, but there's so much evidence now and I'm saying this from my research, which I do 8, 9, 10, 12 hours every day, brothers and sisters. I'm not just picking and grasping at, a few news articles here and there. I do hours upon hours upon hours of research for this stuff. And it's very clear to me that there are other galaxies, there are other places, entities, okay, that live on, let's call them planets, because it's easier to reference it like that, okay, whatever they're called. It makes so much sense. I mean, you can take a telescope and you can see Saturn, okay, and it's exactly how they show us. So, I'm just going to be totally open-minded, because I believe that all these things, flat earth, globe earth, all this kind of stuff, all it does is creates ruckus between our brethren. All it does is create ruckus between us, division, and that's what they want. Flat earth could totally be a psyops too. I think there is truth in everything. I think maybe we are a flat earth with this oxygen dome over the top of us, but outside of that, there could be those planets and, a whole new world that's going on over there, because remember, they're the principalities of the air, of the heavens. Okay? So I have no doubt in my mind that everything has a grain of truth to it, and this is how they have managed to keep us under control for so long, because everything that they feed us does have a grain of truth, and we go, oh, that sounds good, but then there's that twist of a lie. So, but all I'm saying, doesn't matter, flat, globe, whatever. All I'm saying to you, brothers and sisters, is it's causing us division in between ourselves, and we're fighting between ourselves. It's ridiculous. That's got to stop. And I'm going to stop making excuses for myself. I'm just going to let you know how I feel about everything now. Okay? The world is not ready. This is June 10th. The world is not ready for what is coming next. The big feature, how Q became everything. The conspiracy group's goal was to convince people the world is run by pedophiles, and well, mission accomplished. And I mean, is it not? Okay. Boom. Just like that, South Florida is underwater. This is 11 hours ago. Okay. The storm is on the way. Remember, Trump said that right at the beginning. The storm, the calm before the storm. Okay, the calm before the storm. Now, I just was thinking of something, because I was talking about the age of Aquarius before. Sorry, this video is here, there, and everywhere. I've got to go with when I get alerted. The age of Aquarius started on January 20th, 2024. Okay, that's where a lot of astrologers or whatever, astronomers will say that the age of Aquarius started, and it makes so much sense that the age of Aquarius started on January the 20th, 2024. And especially in my walk, because towards the end of 2023, I was starting to wake up and come out of the rapture and start looking at the millennial reign and all this kind of stuff, and that the millennial reign's already happened, and and then I started looking at Yahweh of the Old Testament. I'm like, that is not our Father in heaven, and all this stuff started really happening. Okay, we've got to go with the flow. We've got to go with the flow of the Spirit, brothers and sisters. I'm telling you, the time is now. All right, let's get back onto this. So yeah, that Q. I truly think something's happening. I don't think this is because when you think about it, it's however long you want to say this world has been going on for. Okay. From that time, they've had control over us. Okay, so it makes sense that these white hats, the good guys, whatever, that have been working behind the scenes have taken so long, because they had to be precise. It's a hard battle to fight against evil, such evil and wickedness, brothers and sisters. So it makes complete sense that, they were telling us just to something's coming. And the timing needs to be right. And with the age of Aquarius, with the Great Awakening, with, what happened in 2020 and people just snapping out of their slumber, it makes sense that this is all going down now. And like I said, a big one with the money, because money rules the world, right? And once that's dissolved and destroyed, awesome. Okay? It's absolutely awesome. Hey, look at it this way. The evil, wicked ones, they need money. Okay? They need money to do their evil deeds and stuff. They're going to be stuffed with the digital currency too. You know what I mean? Everything has to be tracked, everything has to be written down and copied, you know, so there's stuff too. So this is what's really going down. It's the destruction of the wickedness that is just crumbling and dissolving. It is a wonderful thing, a wonderful, wonderful thing. Okay, now let's see. Okay, I'm not going to show you some of these, most of these TikToks, because otherwise we'll be here for 10,000 hours. But toxins in Australian tap water. Those watching that are Aussies, you would notice recently. I mean, the government's not doing the crap about it, but all these news articles came out and said, oh, by the way, there's carcinogenic toxins in your tap water. I mean, does it surprise you? No, it doesn't. But you know, I mean, I've been buying spring water in bottled spring water for probably the last 5 or 6 years. But that's not to say that, you know, but this is why we ask for a blessing and we give thanks over our food and water and everything, okay? And that has way more power than anything that elites or wicked people can do. But that's huge, okay? Now they're coming out saying, you know, there's arsenic and there's, you know, all this cancer-causing stuff in the tap water, and goodness knows how long. I mean, talk about genocide, right? Saddam library proves Anunnaki. Okay, this one's very interesting. Basically, the war on mass weapons of mass destruction. Remember that when Thingo went over to get Saddam Hussein and supposedly killed him, whatever. They went over there for the quote unquote weapons of mass destruction, which never existed. What existed apparently was Saddam was opening a library which showed evidence of the Anunnaki, of our creators, okay, the ones who trapped us here, and they didn't want that, okay, they didn't want that, so that's why they went over and, look, let's watch it, okay, because I'm sure you'll be interested to see this, as I was, so we'll watch this one.
Hey guys, you want to hear a secret that they don't want you to know? Remember when they took down Saddam Hussein because supposedly there was weapons of mass destruction and then there wasn't? Well, now, you know, a lot of the soldiers have come back and admitted that they were really taking artifacts. Now, the whole thing about a Stargate, I think is a little much. It was literally just the artifacts because Saddam Hussein was about to open this giant library. Why all these Sumerian tablets were detrimental to the security of a little country is because it totally blew a hole in the Judaic-Christian story, proving that it was stolen from Egypt and that Yahweh, the God of the Old Testament, is actually the devil. And you know why the British Museum holds the copy of the Book of the Dead is because they're not letting you see all the good stuff. But you know other copies have been found since then and translated. And what they are hiding is spells. It's a book of spells. Now what are the spells for? Why, to rescue the Son of God and help him return. To set us all free from the devil who rules this world with his chosen people.
You see, what happened was the god of the moon said, that is who Satan is, okay? He claimed to have killed Osiris, and Isis, who was a solar deity, a child of the sun, made a deal with the devil, the moon god, Yahweh, Satan, to see her husband one last time. Similarly to how the archons can come to you as one of your loved ones to bring you into the false light to be reincarnated again, but that's another story. They also did this to Isis. Saw him in the Nile, and you know, there's never been any depiction of Isis being pregnant because she wasn't ever pregnant. It wasn't an immaculate birth. A baby floated up to her in the basket in the Nile. This was Moses. Horus is Moses. Horus infiltrated the mystery schools and let his people go and gave them the knowledge. Okay?
Too bad for them. The secret's out and they can't stop what's coming, guys.
Okay, say that woman's a little trippy, but I absolutely love her videos. All right, so like I said, Saddam had so basically the soldiers went over there to remove artifacts from Saddam's library, and it was proving everything that we've talked about here, that Yahweh is really the devil. And it makes so much sense. This is why Jesus literally said, you know, you are of your father the devil, who's a liar and a murderer from the beginning. Go and have a look at all the sacrifices, the rape, the you know, even in, I can't remember what verse it is. I haven't got it with me right now, but it's in Genesis, I believe, that one of the bounties was to take women, and to take only women that haven't laid with a man. So how do you expect that these people knew that a woman was a virgin? So that would have been horrific. And Yahweh himself wanted 32 virgins for himself. Okay, this is in the Bible. Okay, this is in the Old Testament, but this is not what my video is about today. I've got a lot of proof, and you can do your own studies. There's so many videos on YouTube now that show you that Yahweh is the devil, and this is the whole reason that Jesus came, to show us the true God, our Father in heaven, love. And this is why there's such a contradiction between this jealous and hateful and bloodthirsty sacrificing God of the Old Testament and the God of love of the new one, who is absolute spirit. No man has heard his voice, no man has seen his form, or seen, you know, basically no man has ever seen Father. Okay, no man's heard his voice, no man has seen his form. Okay, and this is what proves in Genesis 1 when it says the Elohim created us in their image. Okay, we look like the Elohim. Okay, when you look at the story in a nutshell, and I'll show you these videos in a minute, these movies that are absolutely awesome. Basically, in a nutshell, on Nibiru, okay, this is where the Anunnaki were. They noticed that their atmosphere, there was a hole in the atmosphere, and they needed a place, they needed to find gold. Okay, I'm going to try and put this in a nutshell as quick as I can. They needed gold because the gold reflects heat and sunlight. Okay, so they needed gold. And when you have a look at Genesis 1, I'll show you this here quickly. So basically they scanned the galaxies, the solar system, whatever, and Genesis 2, I think, and they found that this Earth here, right, they found that there was gold on this Earth, and apparently the people on the Anunnakis, right, they were working and mining for gold and everything to try and sort this issue out for their planet, their place. And these Anunnaki, because of the heat and everything, they were like, oh, we're sick of it. We don't want to do this work anymore. We need to find workers. And so they scoured the galaxy looking for workers, and they came across Earth, and they seen primitive beings, okay, primitive beings, which I assume were like the monkeys. Okay, and this is where we're getting all this, we know we come from monkey garbage. It makes so much sense now. And so, you know, they were like, oh, these look good, you know, they can use tools with their hands and maybe they'll work for us, right? And so they, apparently they came down here. I just want to show you this too, at the Garden of Eden, okay? And a river ran out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence it was parted and it became into four heads. The name of the first is Pison, which is that is it which compassed the whole land of Halliville, where there is gold, and the gold of that land is good. Okay, you have to watch these Anunnaki movies. Everything. I'm talking the flood. I'm talking everything gets explained, and it makes so much more sense than what we've been told. So anyway, they realised that their monkeys, whatever, weren't good enough. Okay, they weren't understanding enough. So the story goes is they wanted to create man, Adam, okay? And they did a whole range of experiments. Up to 7 times they would create something, and then its back legs weren't good, or it couldn't hear properly, it couldn't speak properly, and then finally on the 7th time they created Adam, okay, Adamu. And what they did was they used the essence, I'd say the DNA of the Anunnaki and of this creature, and created us, okay, and we were seen as like the perfect thing. And so the story goes is that when we were created, because we've got this Anunnaki bloodline or whatever, or DNA structure in us, which makes sense because they tell us what we've only got 10% of our mind, that we've got access to. Imagine if we had 100%. Oh my goodness, anyway. So and apparently written on their DNA was basically we became better than them. We became very quickly more advanced than them and everything like this. And this is why they wanted to destroy us. And this is why you see Yahweh in Genesis, where the flood came. He wanted to get rid of mankind. He's like, I'm not making these people and they're going to become better than us. No way, Jose, we're going to get rid of them all. And then there was one of the Anunnaki, it was Enki or Enyo, but anyway, doesn't matter. One of them was had compassion, and basically came to Moses and told him that this, to build this boat and everything like this, and that you could save humanity and start again and all this kind of stuff. And then there's this other thing where this coding was written on our DNA, okay, and this is what we've got to try and access. There was a coding written on our DNA which unlocks everything. And the people who had, the Anunnaki who had compassion and everything like this, did this behind, the bad ones' back, so to speak, because they had compassion, they loved us, they created us, okay? And so this is probably why you see the good and the bad through the whole Old Testament, because there probably was a good one. Anyway, I'm ranting and carrying on, but you have to see this video. I'll show you what it is. Amazing, absolutely amazing. It's so well done. We'll go to the Anunnaki. It's this guy here. Like I said, I can't link because I've been restricted from linking. But his channel name is Anunnaki Ancient Mystery, okay? This fella here. Then you go to the videos, and then there's the Anunnaki movie, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, number 4, which is a real shame, you have to be like a member. Okay, you can't watch it without being a member. But they're an hour, 38 minutes long. This one's 1 hour 44 minutes long. This one's 157, but it's so worth it. It makes so much sense, brothers and sisters, that the Anunnaki created us, and there was this conflict, and it explains Genesis 1, Genesis 2, why there's this gap, why there's this, go and replenish the earth. Okay, if it's replenishing, it means there was something there before. Oh, there's so much stuff to talk about, and I hope you're still following. I'm sorry I'm all over the place, but like I said, I want to try and get everything into this video, but please do yourself a favour. If you want to watch something like a good movie, this is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Start with obviously number 1 and work your way through it. It explains everything, and you'll be like, damn girl, that just puts everything into perspective for me. So and so long story short, they got the people mining for gold, because, like it says in Genesis 2, the whole place was full of gold, and it was good. The gold of that land is good, and that's what they came down for, okay? They needed that gold. And then the Anunnaki they walked with us, okay? And even, get this, even when you look at, the interlinear Bible, okay? You have a look at when it says Enoch walked with God, it literally says Enoch walked with the Elohim. I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, the story we've been told, okay, the happy little Adam and Eve eating an apple and all this garbage is so far from the truth, okay? Enoch walked with the Elohim. And get this, in the, we're going to get to it. We're going to get to, because it's in my notes. But when Moses was born, okay, his parents freaked out and ran off to to Enoch or whatever. And Enoch's like, what are you screaming for? And he's like, and Moses' parents were like, oh, there's something wrong with my kid. He's literally like, his face is shining bright, and he's got white hair like wool, and his eyes are like flaming lamps. And so, and then the Anunnaki or Enoch was like, it's all good, he's just a special one, he's going to be the, etc., etc. It's just, it's so good, it's so wonderful, and so, to get fed in your soul for understanding of all of this stuff, it's, to me, I'm just so blessed and so full of joy to hear all this stuff and to finally make sense of it all. It really, really, really super resonates with me. So, okay, what are we going to look at next? Okay, all right. Before I do that, this is another video that you must see. Must see. Okay, it's called The Mystery of Israel Solved. Okay, Freedom for All is the channel name. You must see this, and I cannot stress enough. You must see this. This here tells you, at the beginning, it talks about the women, she was in the Defence Force for 20 years, whatever. She was explaining how the Iron Dome works, and even if a cat or an animal walked across the fence line, showers of armies would be on that, immediately. And the day of October 7th, when Hamas attacked, basically nothing. They were able to blow up the fence line, tractors, nothing. Nobody came. Anyway, big, just like 9/11, right? Just like 9/11. They had practice runs and everything like this. And then this movie goes right into how Israel funded Hamas, how the nation of Israel became to be. It's totally funded by Rothschilds. Oh my goodness, brothers and sisters, you must see this. And it makes so much sense when you look at all the Christian churches around the world. We stand with Israel. We stand with Israel because we'll be blessed. And this goes right into, like I just had before, basically before the Rothschilds created the state of Israel in 1948 or 45, whatever it was, they knew that they had to get along with Christian theology, right? Because that was the only way that they were able to pull off their plans. And did I not tell you in my other videos that basically they were under the mindset of, oh, if we can't beat them, we'll join them. And they linked crap on to the Bible, like the Immaculate Birth and all this crap, okay, and making it seem like that Jesus is the son of David, which is not. Even Jesus, disputes this. Long story short, the Rothschilds basically, this fella here, Schofield, look into Schofield, okay? His name is Cyrus L. Schofield. He's a a convicted criminal lawyer, and a huge fraud case and everything like this. And he wrote this Bible, right? He wrote this Bible, the first ever Bible with over, I don't know how many hundreds of footnotes, okay? So in other words, to persuade you of some thinking, right? And he pretty much was the father or founder of futurism and pre-tribulation, okay? The rapture theory, right? And then along came John Darby, okay? And John Darby, oh my goodness, John Darby owns the most haunted castle in the world, where over 150 dead bodies were found. Brothers and sisters, I'm telling you, everything is being disclosed right now. You need to watch this video. I can't play it and I can't link it, so you're gonna have to write these things down. But it makes so much sense. They had an agenda. They used Christianity against the masses and created this doctrine, constantly looking in the future, constantly waiting on someone to come and save them. And this is the last thing that we need to be doing. We need to focus and live in the now. Okay, we need to live in the right now, to be present right now and be thankful for everything that we have. I cannot stress that enough. But yes, this is where the rapture, the pre-tribulation rapture, and futurism, like the millennial reign, all comes from. They were paid by the Rothschilds to basically, in a nutshell, have this ideology of if you bless Israel, if you love Israel, God will bless you. If you hate Israel, God will curse you. That comes from the Rothschilds, brothers and sisters, and look what they're doing. The same thing they did throughout all of the Old Testament is pillage, plunder, rape, murder, genocide, the lot, all of it, okay? And they're doing it over and over and over and over again, and no one bats an eyelid. But now is the time to wake up. Okay, now we need to wake up and come out of that system. These are the ones who killed all the prophets, okay? And they killed Jesus. It's just the reality of it. And for many reasons. But yes, please go and watch this. It'll be a huge eye-opener for you. Right, the next thing. This one. Oh my goodness. My dear brother Brad showed me this woman, Kerry Kay, okay? The false matrix explained. Oh my goodness. I have tried to, because I study so much and I write so many notes and everything, it feels like it's just an impossible task to put this all into a video. But when I heard this 37-minute video from this lady, because my brother was like, this is something I just want to share with you. I feel like it's going to bless your socks off. And boy, did it bless my socks off. I was just like so grateful and humbled and just thankful that he sent me this lady, because she explains it perfectly. She explains that the sun that we see today is it's a shield. It's basically a shield that's been shielding the original matrix outside of where we live. We live in a prison, brothers and sisters, okay? We need to dissolve the walls, to break down the walls, to break down the shackles, and to go into that new earth. I'm telling you, this, please go and watch this. I can't do this any justice. She explains it so perfectly. The false matrix explained. And you can read her comments. They're just like, you feel like you level up. You level up on knowledge when you listen to this lady. She just, I can't give her enough praises. So there's that one. Stellarium, Aquarius. What else are we going to talk about? All right, let's jump on to my documents. Okay, just before we go on to my document, I just took a little break and something just popped straight into my head, and I have to show you this, brothers and sisters. Here's Matthew chapter 1, okay? Now, as I've talked about in my other videos, I do not believe that Jesus was born by a virgin, okay? Because this whole hovering over the waters and, this immaculate conception where the Holy Spirit hovered over Mary, it's just too much like Genesis 1, okay? The darkness, the void, and, the Spirit hovered over the waters. There's too much of a connection. It's a weird thing to me, and I've told you in my other videos why I do not believe this. I think it's another one of those evil ways of going, well, if we can't beat him, we'll join him, we'll try and make him into the son of David, blah, blah, blah. But here, I want to show you something, okay? If you come down here, and it says, and she shall bring forth a son, and they shall call his name Jesus. Notice that Jesus is in all capital, okay? You'll have a look in your Bible and it'll be all capital. Now, brothers and sisters, when something becomes all capitals, it becomes a corporation, okay? It becomes a corporation. Think about that, okay? It used to be the United States of America. Then they changed it to capital U, capital S, capital A, USA, okay? As soon as they change something into capitals, all caps, it becomes a corporation. Think about that a little bit. Then they changed religion, or they changed spirituality and the truth into a money-making corporation, into religion. Here it is again down the bottom. They called his name Jesus. And again, just because we're here, which was spoken of the Lord by the prophet, saying, this is supposed to be fulfilling a prophecy, right? Behold, a virgin shall be with child, and she shall bring forth a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel. Emmanuel means walking one who is like El, okay? Which is the Elohim, one who is like El. So no. And when you go to this prophecy, which is in Isaiah chapter 7:14, it is talking about, the prophecy is talking about Isaiah's son, which is born in chapter 8, the next chapter. Okay, this is how they trick you, but nobody questions, because we've just been told this, and this is a lovely little Christmas prophecy. Everybody knows this: a virgin shall be with a child. No, brothers and sisters, it's a maiden is going to bring forth the son. And it's in, that prophecy is in Isaiah chapter 7:14, and the fulfillment of that prophecy is in Isaiah chapter 8, where Isaiah goes into a prophetess, lays with her, and a child is born. Okay? Anyway, just something to think about. Capitals, all caps, are a corporation. All right, let's get on to my notes. Now, hopefully I can skim over these, because otherwise we're going to be here for 2,000 years. All right, so, and I just wrote it all in point form, because, I write so much. I wrote all of this on notes, so much more, like literally 30, 40 pages of notes, handwritten. And I was like, no, this is why I get so confused, because I've got so much information. I'm going to bullet point this all. Okay, so we've already talked about this, the 32 versions of Yahweh, okay? The 32 virgins that Yahweh himself asked that he wanted from out of the 1,500 that were captured. And again, think about how they can tell if a woman is a virgin, what they did to these women to know if they were virgin or not, okay? That's disgusting. And that is found in Numbers 31, 32 to 35, okay? In the Gospel of Philip, it literally says Yahweh is a man-eater. And then I've got the songs here, she's a man-eater by, Nelly the Furtado, and there's another one by Daryl Hall and John Oates. And when you look at the lyrics, it's all in plain sight. Okay, in Judges 11:29, child sacrifice. okay? Is by an oath to Yahweh. Leviticus 1, 5 to 9, I forget what that was about. But anyway, John 8:44, Jesus says, your father is the devil. He's a murderer and a liar from the beginning. John 6:53 to 58, totally added verses, okay? And that's where it says, unless you drink my flesh unless you eat my flesh, and drink my blood. That was an added verse, brothers and sisters. Doesn't that make so much sense? Because that, it says in there that a whole heap of disciples were like, oh, I don't like this saying. And then they walked away and they didn't follow Jesus anymore. I would too, if someone's talked about eating flesh and drinking blood. That's weird. But it's been added. This is what I'm trying to tell you, that the words of Jesus, Jesus only. John, the book of John was added around 90 to 100 BC. AD. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you can tell I was up late night doing this. Okay, so why he was the last book of the Gospels to be added. Okay, John 8:48 to 59 was added. Okay, and this is where he talks about before Abraham was, I am. Okay, and Abraham rejoiced to see me. This was added, brothers and sisters. And, this is what I'm saying. If we can't beat them, let's join them. Let's add the David bloodline to them. It's not. No. Okay, John 7:53 to John 8:11. This is a whole thing added. And that was the story about the woman in adultery. They hated women. Okay, they'll do anything. And who did Jesus talk to first? A woman. Who were the people left with him at the cross? Women, okay? The Jews put Jesus to death because he didn't bring an earthly kingdom. The same reason why Judas betrayed him. That's what I talked about before. Flesh and body cannot enter the kingdom of heaven, right? And again, the kingdom of heaven is not something you can see. It's within you. So tell me, how did Paul and John the Revelator, John of Patmos, how did they go to heaven? Huh? Think about that, hey? If the kingdom of heaven is something that we cannot enter, that flesh and blood and body cannot enter, and the kingdom of heaven is really within us, then how did Paul and John go there to get these miraculous visions? Think about that. So I wrote, Jesus is in all of us, right? And when I say Jesus is in all of, I'm talking about the Christ consciousness, the understanding of truth, love, harmony, justice, the will of God. Okay, that's what I mean by Christ consciousness. Jesus is in all of us, and just as he was asleep on the boat, once he was awoken, okay, because that Christ consciousness is in us, once we awaken, when people realize that Christ is in them, we can also calm the waters and the seas. What a revelation. I was just so blessed and happy when Father gave that revelation to me. So when Jesus was on the boat asleep and the disciples freaked out, they're like, there's a big storm and wind and whatever, wake up, how can you be sleeping? Because we're all sleeping. And once we wake up and realize that we have that Christ consciousness in us, and we are creators, and we are much more beautiful, wonderful beings than we've been told, then we can also calm the waters and the seas, letting go of fear, etc., etc. All right, Strong's Concordance 2023 is the name Hor, H-O-R. It is literally listed as another name for Yahweh, okay? And it also means two mountains, because there's Mount Hor in Numbers 33-39. And another name for Yahweh, get this, is Ho-Ris. So H-O space R-I-S. Ho-Ris. Horus, anybody? Another name for Yahweh is El, and it means the wilderness, a place in the desert. Now, what did Jesus say? If they say he's out in the desert, don't go there. Okay? Don't go. Who tempted Jesus in the wilderness? And what did Yahweh constantly want to do? Bring me sacrifices in the wilderness. Go out into the wilderness, okay? Now, Jesus, Horus in the Egyptian mythology, okay, the same story. This whole look at this. On December the 25th or December the 21st, on the winter solstice, okay, is when the sun is at its lowest point of the horizon. And for 3 days, I kid you not, for 3 days, it will be stationary. So it looks like the sun has died. And then on the third day, okay, which is on December the 25th, I think that's right, something around there, December the 25th, the sun starts rising again. Okay, and this is where they get the Christmas story. Okay, now I'm not saying anything against Yeshua. Okay, I truly believe he was a messenger from Father, and whether he was literally the Son of God or not, it doesn't matter, because Jesus did not come here to get praise and worship. He came to serve and to show us the will of the Father. Okay, that is my main thing. So all of this, a lot of the stories that we have about Jesus, about Christmas, about his birthday, I mean, a lot of people realize that December 25th is not Jesus' birthday, but still, I mean, if that story is fabricated and that story is stolen from, the Egyptian tablets and stuff like that, then how do we know that everything else has not been stolen? Okay, Yahweh also means Adon or Lord or Baal. Another name for him is Yah, so Yare, with a little, I think they're called umlauts. It means a fright. Okay, Yahweh is a mountain god, and Sin was his original name. Okay, in the Gnostic writings of the creation of the world, the reason he was called Sin was because when he, when he was created, he looked around and said, I'm the best, basically. I'm the number one, and everything else can, go get stuffed, basically. And so the Father and his, his archangels, whatever it was, the Father, the source, was like, you have committed a great sin. You have committed a great sin against every human being and every being. Okay, you've created the greatest sin, and this is when sin first entered into the world, because of this entity that had this pride in his heart. Okay, which is effectively Satan. Okay, so that's where sin was given the name to this god. Okay, and in the text, in the Hebrew text, Ai, however you would pronounce that, are literally mountains. So we have a god named Sin of the mountains, Ai. What does it make? Mount Sinai. Okay, and how they did this, brothers and sisters, is where Mount Sinai is where the moon would rise, okay, up behind the mountains. And the Israelites, they would look at this mountain and see the moon coming up, and moon worship and all this kind of stuff. Yahweh is a moon god, brothers and sisters. Yahweh is a moon god. Sinai, Mount Sinai. And so they watched this mountain, the moon would come up, they would worship. Hence the reason in Genesis 1 is, the evening and the morning were the first day. They worshipped the night. They worshipped the moon. Okay. The worship of God in high places. They worship God in high places all the time in the mountains. So that is Bama, okay, and Moses for 40 days and 40 nights. The mountaintops on Mount Sinai still to this day are burnt. And Barak means to kneel or bless. Okay, so you've got Barak Bama, which is interesting. Izusus, okay, which is the Latin or Greek name for Jesus, actually means Yahweh saves. Okay, so again, they tried to attach this name onto Jesus, not only by capitalizing it, making it a corporation and a business, but that's how they roll. They're like, well, we can't beat them. We're going to join them. We're going to add our stuff and mingle. Okay. Here I wrote, Jesus in all caps makes his name a corporation business. Okay, Leviticus 21:17-21. It says that the lame people needed to stay away from Yahweh. Okay, he hated lame people. They were chucked out of the camp and everything like this, right? But in the New Testament, Jesus heals all the lame people. You know, he loves the lame people. Okay, August the 11th, 3114 BC is when the Mayans say that the world began. So that's just an interesting little fact. Pardon me. The Exegesis it's a very old book. Okay, talks about the sons of God, whether they were the Elohim. Enoch walked with the Elohim, and the Elohim took him. So they genetically modified him. He didn't die. He was genetically modified. And how interesting is this? My parents, being Seventh-day Adventist, they have this prophet, right? And her name is Ellen White. And totally, Illuminati, right? On her grave, on Ellen White's grave, she has an obelisk. But it doesn't matter. It's beside the point. But Ellen White says that Enoch lives on planet Saturn, or he visited planet Saturn, and they asked him, what are you doing here? And he said, this is not my home, I'm just visiting. I mean, come on. You know, this is crazy town. And if you probably look into Joseph Smith and stuff, he probably, it probably makes a lot more sense from like the Mormons and the Latter-day Saints. It probably makes a lot more sense that he was in contact with the Elohim. Okay, so it says the first day of the first month, Enoch was crying. This is in the book of Enoch, I think the secret book of Enoch, okay? First day, first month, Enoch was crying and rested in his bed. He falls asleep, and two very tall men appear to him, the likes of which he had never seen before. Their faces were like the light of the sun, their eyes burning lamps. Doesn't that sound like the book of Revelation? And from their mouth fire came out, and their clothes as a spread of feathers, arms like golden wings. Okay, you got to remember, Father's angels, okay, in the book of Hebrew, he talks about his angels are like ministers of flames. This is what we were. This is what our spirit embodied, was a minister of flames, okay, before we got, and that's what I believe, with Adam and Eve, when they're talking about, the sin of the garden, which was a sexual sin. That's why they found themselves naked. So I believe they had that brightness, and then when they did the sexual sin, the brightness faded or disappeared, and they looked down and they're like, oh, we're naked. You know what I'm saying? All right. So Noah was born with big shiny eyes, bright as the light. Moses' face also shone like this, remember? Remember, Moses asked to see, and supposedly Yahweh was like, all right, if you can't look at me, you'll die. So put your face into the clefts of the rock. Pardon me. And I'll walk past, and you look at the back of me. And then Moses' face was like for ages glowing and shining so much he had to put a veil on his face. This is the description of the Elohim, brothers and sisters. Jesus even said Satan can masquerade himself as an angel of light. Okay, an angel of light. And then it goes on to say that Enoch, when he was around these two tall men with eyes burning like a lamp, and their face the light of the sun, basically he said he got so hot and burned that he was like begging for help. And so basically Yahweh, or the head Anunnaki, whatever, sent two angels to him to cool his face. Okay, and instantly I'm like, oh my goodness, that was the anointing oil before they entered the Holy of Holies. You know how it says that, if you weren't Aaron or in the lineage of Levites or whatever, you couldn't enter the Holy of Holies or you'd be destroyed instantly. They had anointing oil, brothers and sisters, and that's how they were able to enter the Holy of Holies. Okay, was Enoch a hybrid Anunnaki earthling? Okay, did the Elohim modify him to create Noah? Because Noah came out with white hair, red cheeks, bright as the sun. And it says that Noah was perfect in his generation, but this was not a moral standard in perfection. He wasn't perfectly moral in his perfection, but rather in his genetics. Why? Because I think the Elohim modified Enoch somehow, because Enoch is Noah's great-grandfather or grandfather or something like this, right? And he was modified. He was genetically modified. And then I was like, wow, is this why Jesus says in the days of Noah, it will be like the coming of the Son of Man? And have a look around us. Now the Anunnaki are hybriding humans with computers. It's sin, AI, Sinai, all over again, okay? 2 Kings 5:27, the leprosy, therefore, of Naaman shall cleave unto you and your seed forever. And he went out as a leper, as white as snow. Okay, so the Bible literally talks about all the things that the Anunnaki did. It just mentions it differently. And, it's our job to figure this stuff out. Okay, so to me, I was like, the Anunnaki mustn't have needed melanin. Because, melanin, like darker skinned people they have lots of melanin. That's why they don't get burnt, right? And now, like, Noah was seen as white, and that's why his parents freaked out, because he's like, hang on, there's a white boy here, what's going on? Why is his face shining like the sun? Why does he have white hair? So the originals were obviously dark-skinned people, right? Which makes sense because Anglo-Saxon actually means sons of Isaac. Like, I'm telling you, this is why they were chosen people, brothers and sisters. This is why they think they're a chosen people to this day, is because they are the sons of Isaac. Okay, they are the genetic modification of the Anunnaki and of the Elohim. Okay, so Elohim's covenant with Noah is in Genesis 6:18, and this was for everybody over the whole world, right? And Yahweh's covenant with Moses was just for him and his people, right? The chosen ones. And isn't it interesting that Satan and Michael contend over Moses' body? Has anyone ever wondered why that verse is just in there? That Satan and Michael were contending over the body of Moses? I mean, look in the Bible, it says Moses went off to die. But to this day, they say that nobody has Moses' body. They don't know where it's buried, anything like this. So obviously Moses' body is, this is why they want the body. This is why I think they've got the body of the body of Gilgamesh, which is, what we would call Noah, I think. Yes, Noah. And then they've got the body of Nimrod. And this is Hillary Clinton writes emails, all those emails that she had. Apparently, they have the body of Nimrod, and goodness knows what kind of DNA extractions and everything, they creating superhumans, whatever. But a lot of things to think about. Okay, the word abracadabra, talked about this many times. That's a Jewish idiom for I speak what I create. Have a look at Genesis 1. Let there be light. Let there be this. They speak and create. Okay, they speak and create. Okay, the age of Leo was in this movie, in these writings, in these Sumerian writings, in the story, the written down. Because the thing is, okay, the reason why I feel it's a lot of truth from this Anunnaki movies is because they wrote everything down. They needed a record for because it was the new creation, okay? It was a whole new hybrid of creation, and they wanted to write down everything that happened and why it happened. So I just thought that was an interesting fact, that it must have been the age of Leo, and they write this down in their writings, was when the flood and the deluge happened. So we could probably work out, in what time frame this happened. All right, Genesis 18, when 3 men came to Abraham. Okay, remember the story? 3 men came. This is before Sodom and Gomorrah, right? 3 men just happened to come to Abraham, and what did Abraham do? Immediately address them as lords. Okay, and then you get these Trinity pushers that will say, that's the Trinity. That was the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Okay, oh my goodness. No, 3 men, okay, men. And the Elohim created us in their image. We look like them, okay? This is why Abraham was like, he immediately addressed them as lords, okay? And these men are manipulators who replenish the earth with hybrid humans. Adumu, let us make man in our image. They used the primitive man monkey and added the essence of the Anunnaki to create human beings. Okay, the Tower of Babel. I remember reading this years and years and years ago from the Talmud. I think it was from the Talmud. I could be wrong there. But the Tower of Babel was actually a UFO or a craft landing pad. And apparently, and this makes so much sense, like we're told that men were so wicked, okay, that men were so wicked. But the real story behind this is that man started becoming so intelligent, and they started to create one language and work together for the greater good. And this is why they were building this tower, because they wanted to escape this system that the Anunnaki had, or the Elohim had put them in. So they built this tower, totally opposite to what we've been told, right? And, and this is why the Yahweh and the Elohim, whatever, look down from the heavens. That's where they live, in the heavens, in the skies, where the birds fly. And they were like, no, you ain't going to be doing this, and I'm going to destroy you, like they did with the flood, etc., etc. And we can read this in Genesis 11:6. The people have become as one, and they have one language. Now, whatever they put their minds to, they will be able to accomplish. Brothers and sisters, we've got the story all wrong, okay? We tried to escape. We came together, we had one language, we were united, and we tried to escape this thing, and then we got destroyed, okay? And this is the exciting bit. This control system, this reincarnation cycle of just destroying us whenever things get too dicey for them, it's come to an end. They are fading away, brothers and sisters. They don't have the power. We have the leg in front now. We have the leg in front. This is very exciting. And I wrote here, was the Tower of Babel a means to be an intermediary docking station, okay, between the heavens and the sky and the earth? Or it could have been that too. It could have been like a docking station, a mediation sort of, a place where, because I said the Anunnaki were here on the earth with us as well. They ended up having to go back home because the gold was drying up and, things went down. People started wanting to be superior, as they still do to this day, world leaders and all this garbage. Okay, Edward Snowden mentioned that the US government is run by tall white people. Okay, he said that the whole US government is run actually by these tall white entities. And I'm like looking at Barron Trump. I'm like, is he one of those tall whites? I mean, I'm sus as on his mum, Melania, like I said before. But it makes sense. Look how tall Barron is. And then look at the connections Trump has with the time traveling and, so much stuff. Now, this is interesting, okay? In this article, in these documents, from Edward Snowden, where he talks about these tall white people. He said that their ships or their planes that they had no toilets or any kitchens or anything like that. They never needed toilets or kitchens. Now, instantly, I'm like, oh my goodness, could this have been the reason behind, what we were talking about with the millennial reign buildings? Because when we were looking into the millennial reigns already happened, and we looked at the architecture and how beautiful these places were, but none of them had toilets or kitchens or anything like this. And then we were like, oh, that's because it was a millennial reign. They were reigning with Christ and they didn't need to go to the toilet. This makes so much more sense, brothers and sisters. This makes so much more sense that these entities, these Anunnakis, these tall white people, whatever thing they're from or wherever they're from, of course they don't need toilets or kitchens to eat, because they feed off some completely different things. Okay, it's energy that they feed off, not actual food like humans do. So this makes much more sense than, the millennial reign already happening and Christ already came and all this kind of stuff. So I wrote, could this actually be the reasoning behind the millennial reign buildings not having toilets or kitchens? Because it was actually the Anunnaki that built them and lived on the earth with us for a time. This would explain the giant doors. I mean, the other theory, Christ and the millennial reign already happening, that doesn't make sense why there was giant doors. But this makes absolute sense, because the Anunnaki, the Elohim, when they mated with women, human women, they created giants. Okay? And their use of sounds and cymatics to create the beautiful architecture. Okay, because they know frequency, do it down to a T. That's, oh my goodness, this is how they're controlling us, with frequency and negative frequency, keeping at a low vibration all the time. But when they built their own architecture and things like this, of course they use perfect. They're so smart, you know what I mean? They've just made these beautiful architectures with giant doors. It makes so much more sense that it was the Anunnaki, not the millennial reign and Christ already coming. Makes much more sense, okay? And it puts us in a much better place, because if we're saying the millennial reign and Christ has come already and we're just in this little season and whenever that's going to finish, it's a constant worry of who are we, where are we, what are we, always worrying about the future and everything like that. But this, brothers and sisters, brings us to the end of this all. And this is what's so exciting. I really want to stress that there's no fear in what I'm telling you. This is really good news, because we're coming to the end of this corrupt, deceptive, controlling system that these parasites had on us. Okay, this is fantastic. Okay, my next note, the Secrets of Israel documentary, which I showed you before. Israel created by the Rothschilds. Jews, Palestinians and Christians all lived harmoniously together until the creation of the State of Israel. The powers that be, the principalities and the corrupt governments, always talk about creating wars and financing wars. And here we have millions, if not billions, of Christians focusing on World War III and its imminency. They literally feed off our negative energy and fear. So keep the Christians in a state of fear and focus on their free Masonic playbook revelation. And then they will be able to bring it on more easily. This is what I'm talking about, brothers and sisters. Come out of that fear programming. Now, this occurred to me. I was just sitting around and all of a sudden something popped up. Again, with my parents being Seventh-day Adventists, one of their biggest things is they believed that the worship, the forced worship of God on the Sunday will be the mark of the beast. That's literally what they believe. That Sunday worship, when no one's allowed to worship on the Sabbath, on the Saturday anymore, that's the mark of the beast, okay? And their prophetesses told them this and wrote books about it. That's what the mark of the beast is going to be. And I'm like, oh my my goodness, it's almost as if every denomination that has these prophet books and these prophecies of the end time and what's going to happen at the end time, it's almost as if these entities and these evil ones have known this, so they have made a movie script or a script for each and every one of them. But get this, brothers and sisters, okay, with the Sabbath, okay, Sabbath, Saturn, Satan, it's all the same thing, okay. Now, I looked, there's 22 million SDA members. That's just members, okay? And that's not to say the people who just go to church and haven't become members yet. But there's millions more that are Torah observant now. You see them everywhere. You know, the people who are going back to the Torah and being observant to Saturday or the Sabbath, right? And they think they're doing a good thing. But unless you know who Yahweh is, who he truly is, okay, it's really a horrific thing to go back to be a Torah observant person, or to worship on the Sabbath. And I know this may really ruffle some feathers, but think about this, brothers and sisters. What every single miracle, everything that Jesus did when he healed, what he did on a Sabbath. He did that on purpose to say that this is, I am coming to fulfill the law. And yes, when he says, not one dot or tittle of the law will be done away with until everything is fulfilled. Guess when that happened? When he died on the cross, okay, and was resurrected. That fulfilled that old Yahweh law. Now we live under Matthew 25, under Jesus's representation of Father's love law. Go read Matthew 25. It's all about love, and that's the law. That's not the, I don't want to say law, but that is the way we should be living now. And Jesus got rid of all of the Yahweh's laws and ordinances and regulations and burdens. Okay? But imagine this. Imagine the mark of the beast really was Sunday worship, okay, like the SDAs, the Seventh-day Adventists say, that Saturday is Saturn's day, Yahweh's day, and is why the whole world worships the beast and then is forced. Okay, so many Torah observant people now and SDAs and everything like this, and it may sound like a wonderful thing. Oh, even the Pope and all the Vatican have come out and said, oh, actually it is the Saturday, It was the church that gave us the Sunday and blah, blah, blah. And then imagine if that's really what it's going to be, because so many people have focused on that, and now people are coming to be Torah observant. They're like, oh, this is awesome. This is awesome. Imagine if they make it a rule or a law that you have to worship on the Sabbath. All the Sabbath people will be like, yay, this is wonderful. This is how it should be. This is what's written in, this is God's law and everything like this. And here we are, millions of people worshipping Yahweh. Okay? And I hope you understand what I'm saying, but I really feel like every big denomination out there that has their theories of what the mark of the beast is, or what the consistency of their message is the elites, the evil ones, the entities have got everything figured out. Everybody's playbook will be played out exactly how they fear it, and exactly how they see it, and exactly how they've been taught it. This is why you have to go within, brothers and sisters. Go into the secret place, shut the door. Talk to the Father who is in secret, and what you talk to him about in secret, he will reward you openly with. You don't need the man on the pulpit. You don't need the Bible studies from these modern day Pharisees and Sadducees, brothers and sisters. Come out of all churches, okay? Come out of all Bible studies that come down from the Bible Society, or I cannot stress that enough. Okay, so next one, the powers that be know the power of what you believe you will manifest. So they have each religion with a different idea of the end of days, each one creating their own demise by their fabricated belief system. I couldn't have said it better if I didn't say it myself. So the powers that be know the powers of what you believe. This is why belief was so important. Like Jesus said, do you believe I can do this? And they'd be like, yes. And they said, well, and Jesus said, well, your faith is, how you have faith, that's what you're given, right? So what you believe, you will manifest. So they have each religion with a different idea of the end of days, each one creating their own demise by their fabricated belief system. So, if, for example, people who, are hardcore, we're going to go through the 7 years of tribulation. We need to go, we need to die in order to go to heaven. There's real push, and it's going to be more so now that this pre-tribulation's not happening, and it's obvious it's not happening. More people are going to go, oh, maybe I was wrong. Maybe it is post-tribulation. And so they go down the road now of, oh my goodness, now we're going to have to get our heads cut off. Now we're going to have to, now the mark of the beast is coming. Now we're going to go through the worst time in history that ever was and ever will be. You know what I'm saying? You're literally putting yourself into your own script when none of this is necessary. None of this is necessary. I apologize if I'm talking too fast. I'm literally letting Father just speak through me. So, okay, Cyrus Scofield, we already talked about this, was hired to write the Scofield's Bible. This was asked by the Rothschilds. Cyrus was a convicted criminal lawyer, and he popularized futurism and dispensationalism. Okay, and this is his whole gap theory, like on the 70 weeks, which is 490 years, and this pointed to Jesus's birth, and that now there's this the 69th week into the 70th week, there's been this 2,000-year gap. I mean, what a load of garbage, brothers and sisters. Wake up. Dispensationalism is not a thing, okay? For starters, when Daniel had the vision of the abomination of desolation, which Jesus talks about in Matthew 24, Daniel was the second temple hadn't even been built yet. Daniel was referring to that second temple, okay, being destroyed. And it did happen. It was fulfilled in 70 AD. That is your great tribulation. That is the worst time in history, never will be and never will be again. Okay? The reason they got annihilated, Jerusalem got annihilated, and all of that was because they killed God's son, because they killed... Anyway, so, and also, put this into your bank. Why in Matthew 24, when the disciples asked what's the sign of, when these things are going to happen, what's the sign of your coming, and what is the sign of the end of the age? Why did Jesus never mention the mark of the beast? Think about that, brothers and sisters, because Revelation is a Freemasonic Judaism playbook. Okay, so we talked about John Darby. He's the father of futurism, dispensationalism, and pre-trib rapture doctrine. John made the Scofield Bible the most popular Bible of all time. Okay, look at Israel's actions today, exactly like Yahweh: kill, murder, and take as much bounty as possible. The genocide continues. Hamas was created by Israel, just like the mafia is created by the Vatican. It's the scapegoat. Blame someone else, okay, to take the spotlight off you. Here we have the Saturn's rings are fading, okay? Saturn's rings are fading, and they're going to be gone by 2025. They're not actually gone. But what they say is happening is that Saturn is straightening up. So you know how it's like on an angle, and you can sort of see the things of the rings. In 2025, it's literally going to be perfectly flat. That's what's happening. But it's amazing because so many people have sent me these articles, even months ago about Saturn's rings fading and being gone by 2025. They're not actually going to start being visible again until 2030, which is very interesting. But when I was listening to other stuff about the Anunnaki, they said that Saturn's rings are actually a broadcasting signal station. And this is where they're broadcasting a lot of our negative programming, okay? And so how interesting is this, that the rings are fading, okay? The scientists are saying the rings are fading by 2025. And if it's true that it's a negative broadcasting system or station that's been broadcasting down to us on this earth, and it's collapsing, there's another reason to see that this matrix, this false matrix system is crumbling and collapsing. So they said that basically they're saying that those beings on other planets and in the galaxies and stuff who are here to help us, okay? Basically, they're here to help us, but we have to do the work. They can provide a lot of side underground work, like the white hats are doing and everything behind the scenes, but we have to do the work individually, okay? It comes down to each and every one of us doing the work individually. But they say that those, the beings on other galaxies or whatever that have looked down and said we need to help these people on Earth because they're being controlled and deceived and whatever, they have been clearing up that broadcast, okay, which is essentially a spell on us. So they've been clearing that up, and I think this is why the awakening is happening, because they have cleared up that programming, that constant broadcasting of crap, the spell on us, and now they've cleared it up. They're like, all right, we've done our part, now you need to wake up. And they're trying to help us wake up now. And again, I stress, we wake up by living in love and light and joy and gratitude and trust and grace. Okay, we are awakening right now, but we must work on this every day to unlearn old ways of thinking, to live in love and light, respect for all things, kindness above all. Okay, soon the train tracks will be splitting. Soon all evil or low vibrations will not be able to exist on this earth, and they will be consumed. Okay, this is my last page. All right. So we are to bring heaven to earth, not the other way around. There is no rapture, but it's a wonderful thing. Don't get disheartened or sad when I say there's no rapture. This is something way better, way better, brothers and sisters, because we are at the end of this horrific cycle that's been going on since goodness knows when, since the beginning of time. Okay, we are. Do you know how blessed you are? Do you know how wonderful and how privileged we are to live in this generation right now, to see this matrix, this false matrix, be shattered and dissolved? So blessed. Okay, Jesus said it himself, the kingdom of heaven is something you cannot observe, but it is within you. You will do greater things than Jesus. You are your own savior. Okay, you are your own savior. Jesus even said this. He said, have I not said to you that you are all gods? Okay, you are all gods. We are all gods, brothers and sisters, because we're children of the Most High. That thing that I talked about in The Simpsons with Lisa, just don't look. Just don't look. Think of all the time and focus we gave to end time events and the evil ones doing. Okay, how many videos have we made of end time events and what the evil ones are doing? Like, for instance, what's his name? Justin Timberlake just brought out this song recently. It was called No Angels or something like that, okay? And all the Christians picked it up and were like, look at how evil this song is. I mean, come on, brothers and sisters, look what happened. How many millions of Christians did videos about it, playing and talking and giving that song the energy? I mean, they're just laughing right now. I mean, how stupid have we been? You know, just continuously feeding them. You know, continuously feeding the pigs the slops and the traps and the oh my goodness. I hope you can understand what I'm saying. Don't focus on the end time events or what the evil ones are doing. It's everybody. There's enough information out there now, and this is all going to take care of itself. You need to focus on you, brothers and sisters. You are so precious, so important, so vital that you wake up and you come out of this trap that we've been put into, and you just emanate the sparkle of light that is given to you by our Father in heaven. Okay? It's really that easy. Now, I just want to mention something too. I talk about the spiritual things that we can do, you know, by confessing and unlearning the things and telling ourselves, you know, that I am what I am and that is enough. I am what I am and that is enough. I am what I am and that is enough. And thanking, all the time thanking and saying, I love myself and I am happy with my life. Everything I need, I have. You know, it may sound ridiculous at first when you start doing this, okay? But it is so true. There's always a thing about, I heard, bullying, okay? Somebody who is a bully, when they are negative to someone, they say, oh, you're so ugly. Your body, your subconscious literally doesn't know that you're saying that to someone else. So it takes it in to your subconscious. So when you're being mean and saying horrible things and judging people and doing all that stuff, you are effectively doing that to yourself. And you are harvesting and holding on to all this wickedness and evil and yuck. You've got to stop. No more judging. Okay? No more judging. We're not to judge people on their journey, on where they are. You need to focus on you and you bringing that candle, that light into the world, and everything else will take care of itself. I promise you. No more preaching to your families and friends about, oh, the rapture's going to happen and I want you to be there. And, you know, oh my goodness, we've done so much damage with all that, brothers and sisters. So much damage, so much heartache, so many families torn apart because of this preaching about this thing that's not even real, when really we should just be living in love. I can't stress that enough. Okay, think of all the times we focused and we gave end time events to the evil ones doing. This is all being used against us to create the reality of fear and death. Turn away from evil. Think of only nice things. Do not watch the news, rapture watching channels, etc. And don't fight against it. Just accept it and transmute it into good energy. The quicker we turn away from evil and focus on love and light, the quicker we can start the process of ascension. Okay, ascension. And, you know, you say, oh, these are crazy words. But Jesus did the same thing. He ascended to the Father at the right-hand side. We will do the same thing. And someone pointed out a brilliant thing today on TikTok. She's like, have you ever wondered if Jesus or the Christ coming in the clouds literally means what's happening right now? What do we call the clouds, right? Everything that we upload on social media, we upload to the clouds, right? The heavenly places where the vibrations are and everything like this, where the broadcasting happens. What if that's what it means? That Christ's consciousness is coming in the clouds. Okay, because so many people, never in history, brothers and sisters, have we had the internet, have we had the knowledge and increasing at such an exponential rate than we do right now because of the internet. Satan tried to use his World Wide Web to web us like a spider and trap us, but guess what happened? Wherever there was sin, grace abound more so, and we awoken. So we have, at the speed of light, billions of people around the world making TikToks, waking up, showing this message, and could this be Christ consciousness coming in the clouds? Okay, could this be? And I was like, damn girl, that's brilliant. That is such a brilliant analogy, because how else would we know? This is why it has to happen now in this generation, because we understand these things now, whereas 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 50 years ago, there's no way. Okay, so when the solar flash event happens, okay, which is the reasoning for the fake shield or the sun simulator, that's what they're trying to that's what this lady here, this one, that's what she was talking about. This is the reason they put this shield up in front of the real organic sun, is because they know that they basically are trying their hardest to stop the ascension happening. Okay, and if the ascension can't happen, think about the sun, the sun, the S-U-N, the S-O-N. Oh my goodness. Even in the end of Revelation, in the end of the Old Testament, in the book of Malachi, it said the sun, S-U-N, of righteousness will rise with healing in his wings. The S-U-N will rise with healing in his wings. Come on, brothers and sisters. This is, I'm telling you. So this is what they're trying their hardest. They know where they are. They're shit scared. Excuse my language, but they really are. And they're trying their hardest to try, and they probably expected something to go down on April 8th on the solar eclipse. But, every sheep, okay, we're going to run after that one sheep, okay? We're going to leave the 99 who are awake, and we're going to run hardcore for that and look for that one sheep that's got, please wake up, come on, come over to our side. This is much better on this side. Whoever is on the high vibration will stay and experience heaven on earth, the new earth, the Eden. And whoever's living in fear, negativity, and worldly lust will be consumed by the presence of Father and Source. Genesis 3:2, and Yahweh said, behold, the man is become one of us, to know good and evil. And now lest he put forth his hand and take also of the tree of life and eat and live forever. Hello. So Yahweh said this, behold, the man is like one of us. Like one of us, right? Well, Father is a spirit. Okay, the man is not created in the image of Father in heaven, okay? Because Father in heaven, no one's seen him, no one's seen his form. He says he's a spirit. So this here in Genesis 3 is not our Father in heaven. But it says here, we've got to get him out of this garden quick, because if he takes also of the tree of life and eats it, he's going to live forever. And that's what I want to know. What is this fruit? Is this the essence? Is this the DNA? Is this why we only have, oh my goodness, thank you, Father. Genesis 6, right? I will not strive with man for any longer than 120 years. There you go. The curse was put on us, brothers and sisters. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Father. That is an amazing revelation, okay? The curse was put on us, obviously, because you looked at how long Adamu, okay, nearly 1,000 years, right? And they probably should have lived a lot longer if they weren't. But anyway, I digress. What I'm saying is there was a curse put on us that we weren't going to live any longer than 120 years. And this is it. This is that taking of the tree of life and eating it. And we're going to get that back, because we're spirits, brothers and sisters. We're spirits trapped in this fleshly body. We're going to get it back. We're going to get our eternity back, our forever life. Okay, we're never going to be separated from Father again. This is exciting. This is fantastic. This is, I can't stress enough how wonderful and encouraging this news is. I may have just rambled on for the last however long this video has gone for now. I think a lot of the times I do talk too fast, but like I said, I just let Father lead. And I've got to say what I've got to say when I say it. Otherwise, I'll lose track, because there's so much stuff I want to talk to you about. But so that's the end of my document. I'll just have a quick look if there's any other TikToks that I really want to show you. One thing I do want to talk to you about, brothers and sisters, is I talked about the spiritual stuff, like confessing with your mouth and unlearning all the things and living in light and love. But a physical thing you can do is ground, earth your body. And that's as simple as it sounds. It means go outside, take your shoes and socks off, and at least half an hour every day, at least, if not more. If you're outside the whole day, take your shoes and socks on if you can, and ground onto that earth. I cannot stress that enough. It does so many wonderful things for your body, and it's time to get back to, we made fun of all the hippies hugging trees. That's another thing, okay? The trees, oh my goodness, the native Indians, they respected the trees, they talked to the trees. Even in the Bible, I can't remember whereabouts, but it talks about that, somebody was having a vision or whatever, and the blind guy. I think that Jesus, the one where he put the mud on, and it didn't quite heal him completely, but Jesus, like, what do you see? And he said, it looks like trees are walking around. Okay, I'm telling you, go hug a tree. The reason why I tell you this, and it's not hippie lala, is because the roots of a tree all connect with every other single tree, okay, under the earth. They are one. This is why the movie, what is it? I keep wanting to say Anunnaki. Oh, what's that blue... Avatar, right? The big tree, okay? It's all about the tree. They all connect with each other. They all they have the antennas that go up into the sky. They connect underneath the earth. They're all one and the same, okay? So if you hug a tree, I'm telling you, go hug a tree 30 seconds every day, a minute every day. Go ground your feet, shoes and socks off, in the dirt, in the soil. Do your meditation. Give thanks, give praises, sing to Father, be joyful, be happy, all that good stuff. That's what you need to do. And obviously along with, diet and things like this, eat a lighter diet, drink more water, but who knows, everything, the water and food, let's just get that out of it. Those two things, talking about being positive, love and light, and then grounding and hugging trees. That's what I really want to get to. Right, red mercury. I don't want to go into all these things, but look up red mercury. Oh my goodness, gold. Somebody took a gold ring and they put it into the bowl. Red mercury, is attracted to gold. And then they took a piece of garlic and put it up against the red mercury, and it was opposed to it, like it was like a magnet. It was so weird. It was like tried to run away from it. And the other weird thing is with red mercury, it's invisible actually, let's watch it. It's invisible in the mirror. It's crazy town stuff. So let's just watch this little one.
Red mercury.
So what you are seeing here should be red mercury, which runs away from garlic, but is attracted to all gold stuff. And as you can see on the top, it has no mirror reflections. It is invisible in the mirror, and it's not magnetic. Those are the rumors. Tell me what you think about this, because when you Google red mercury, it is getting weird, really weird.
No reflection.
Because red mercury is on the one side a myth, but on the other side, you can go to prison if you are trying to sell or buying this stuff. So
see, he draws on the plate to show you that it is a mirror. But how bizarre is that? How bizarre is that? It does not have a reflection. What kind of trippy world are we actually living in, brothers and sisters?
how is it possible to go into prison if this stuff is fake? Can you tell me? This is really really impressive.
Is the garlic?
And when you go deeper into this stuff, then you can
Is it garlic?
find that it is said that this liquid can produce free energy.
It's following the gold.
It's very interesting.
So do you hear that? That liquid, red mercury, you can go to jail for it, but they tell you, oh, it's all a myth. You can go to jail if you have it. And it can create free energy. Like, we have got to learn so much truth. The words written on our DNA. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's the thing. You know, remember ages ago, people are like, had this understanding, oh, the word Yahweh is written on our DNA, right? Yeah. No poop. Because the Elohim created us. That's why Yahweh is written on our DNA. But also now, they've realized in these tablets and stuff, these writings, that we also have a code written on us that helps us unlock this, you know, this prison that we've been living in. So, oh, check this one out. This is this guy, he's uploading words onto a single rice strand of DNA. Unbelievable. Just check this out.
According to the Anunnaki, human beings were created in a way that genetically we were supposed to become more superior than them. They didn't know this was going to happen. And Lil was angry at his brother Enki because Enki put a little extra in the sauce. And he said that the mysteries to unlock the secrets of the universe is hidden within our bodies, and that we ourselves can rise to be even higher than them. This was a major thing to be putting into text like this. And I believe that because when I started studying DNA, that took me into a whole DNA study. I discovered this scientist called George Church, and he created this ebook that he was able to take from a digital format, and he was able to download it onto 1 drop, 1 gram of DNA, a digital book, convert it from zeros and ones into ACs, T's, and G's, read, write, put it on the DNA. Then he said, wow, this is incredible. DNA can store information in a volume. Then he said, okay, this is what we're going to do. Let's replicate this book. So he replicated the book 80 billion times on 1 gram of DNA. So then he said, let's see if we can get it back. So he converted, he created a read-write again. He converted it from ACs, T's, and G's back to zeros and ones and uploaded it back to the server. So now he knows that DNA can upload and download information. Crazy.
Whoa.
So now they said, okay, well, how much data can be stored on 1 drop? Over 433 petabytes of data. A petabyte is 1,000 terabytes. Yeah, so they
insane.
said, now they discovered recently on holmium atoms, scientists have now written information, data onto an individual holmium atom. And they discovered that we can store information. They can read, write directly onto the surface of an actual atom.
Oh my.
Now, think about that for a second.
Oh my God.
So they're saying that a human body can store 13.5 billion years or roughly of data, which is roughly around the time they believe the universe probably exists. So that myth of Adapa text could be accurate. The secrets of the universe is probably encoded into our body because we're just recycled atoms.
What a fantastic time to be alive. Like, how brilliant is that? The secrets of the universe are encoded into our DNA, and this is why they tell us we can only use 10% of our brain and 90% of our DNA is junk DNA. This is why they tell us this, brothers and sisters. I'm telling you, we are incredible creations, and the power that we have inside us is starting to be unveiled now, and it's the best time ever to be alive. Oh, that's another TikTok. I take my power back. Yes, this is a fantastic TikTok. Basically, it goes, you need to take your power back. You need basically say, you know, and all the contracts I made when I was unaware, I take my power back. You know, all the things that we agreed to, like worshipping Yahweh and doing things before we became aware of how evil they were. We need to take that power back and our contracts back and everything like this. We need to speak this out loud. We need to put that vibration into the atmosphere. Yeah. They're programming us for World War III. Yes, they are, just like Christians are doing the same thing. Paul's a false prophet. Go look into that yourself. That's a whole video. I don't feel like I need to do that. There's so much information about Paul being a false prophet. This has got to be a glitch. Anyway, I'm going to leave this video with that, brothers and sisters. But the summary of my video tonight, I know it's summary, it's been a massive video. But like I said, I don't know how many, if any more at all, videos I'm going to do. That's why I try to pack everything into this one. But brothers and sisters, we're going to see each other real soon. We're going to see each other real soon. And it's my utmost desire and wish and, for you to wake up and to see and understand and understand and overstand what I'm saying right now. It's not a bad thing. It's not a scary thing. It's not a fearful thing. It's a fantastic, wonderfully encouraging thing that I'm sharing with you. That we have been lied to so much, yes, but the veil falls. The veil has fallen. The truth is here. And we need to embrace this truth and embrace this new life, this new way of looking at things. Drop all the shackles of the old way of thinking and being negative about yourself and towards others. That's done. That time is over. Now we must rise above this all and bring and call heaven down on earth. I had a lady on my last video say, why would I want to, when I was talking about, they got a new machine where they could probably, heal us and make us live on a minimum of 1,500 years. And this woman on my comment section was like, oh, why would we want to live 1,500 years on this, crappy earth? Because it's not going to be crappy. It's not going to be crappy. It's going to be heaven on earth. Eden. Perfect paradise. Even what we can comprehend, it's nothing. Nowhere even comprehensible about how awesome this new earth, this new world, this new heaven on earth, whatever you want to call it, we can't even comprehend how awesome it's going to be. We're going to have free power. We're going to be able to heal ourselves. We're going to be able to I can't even think. I'm thought out. But there's one more thing. I want to show you something. Just quickly show you something. The Vulcan, okay, from what is it? Star Trek, Star Trek. Yeah, Mr. Spock. Okay, see this sign, this hand sign he's doing? It's the valve, okay, and basically, the shin, sorry. And here is this triangle. Now, who else does this triangle? Okay, check this out. Okay, look at this, brothers and sisters. Oh man, I've got to make this bigger. Look at the ancient Israelites. Look at the hand symbol that they're doing. This triangle. Who else does that? Jay-Z and Beyonce, all those Illuminati bastards. Okay, this is what I'm trying to get across to you, brothers and sisters. We've been lied to so much that, you've got to wake up. You've got to wake up out of this slumber that we've been in. Their God is a wicked, evil God and a murderer and a liar from the beginning. He is not our loving Father in heaven. But yeah, anyway, I don't want to end with that. I don't want to end with something negative. But check this movie out, okay, from Anunnaki, Ancient Mysteries, the movies 1, 2, and 3. This one from Kerry Kay, The False Matrix Explained. Mysteries of Israel, -solved, ! From Freedom for All. I cannot stress this one enough. Everybody needs to see this one. Everybody in the whole world needs to see it. And check out this one. This one's quite long, but I think around the 39-minute mark, he starts talking about the document of Nikola Tesla, where he talks about how Nikola wanted to create utopia, okay? And basically he's talking also about how, these time travelers, these white hats have existed from time dot, and they've been working to fight these spiritual battles, okay? And they're winning. We're winning, brothers and sisters, we're winning. Okay, so those three, I want you to go and watch it. Amazing, amazing, amazing. All right, my beautiful brothers and sisters, I love you so, so, so very much. Love and light to you all. Yes, I hope this video has blessed you. I hope it's given you something to think about. I hope the Father blesses you. And if I don't see you in the next video, I will see you in the new earth. But yeah, I may come back and do some more. But, we've all got to do the work now, because I really feel like the time is coming really quickly that we've got to get this done. So get into it, brothers and sisters. Get this work done. Conquer, those negative things and transmute them into positive. I love you so much, and I will see you in the next video, or I'll see you in the new earth. Bye-bye.